started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling.
All right. How's everybody doing on this Sunday? Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know who you have, but maybe type that in. The Eagles or the Chiefs. Who are you rooting for? Well, I thought I'd get on here and I'd read a little bit from a new book that I was telling you about the other day in the chat. This book is called The Book of Murder by Matt Murphy. If you don't know who Matt is, please go look him up. He's a very distinguished prosecutor who was with the Orange County Prosecutor's Office. So I'm going to start reading this book, and I hope that you enjoy it. Well, here we go. Let me make this a little bigger so it's a little easier for my old eyes without my glasses to be able to see. And maybe hopefully you guys can see that as well on the screen. Okay, here we go. There's nothing like the feel of a rounded pintail. The extra little bit of fiberglass and foam on the trailing end of a surfboard gives you just a little more hold on the face of a wave. Perhaps a tad less maneuverable than other tail designs, but add a late drop and offshore breeze in the rising sun of an early morning surf session, and that additional hold can make all the difference in the world, especially for a journeyman surf talent like me. As with so many things in life, that one tiny yet distinguishing detail can often mean the difference between success and failure, between riding the wave to the beach and floundering in the icy cold water. It was February, a few weeks before my 34th birthday, and I was floundering like a champ. The brilliant young woman I thought I would marry had just become engaged to someone else. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't stop thinking about her. Like a bad country song stuck on repeat, my mind was an endless loop of regret and self-loathing, only temporarily soothed by the pounding surf of a Southern California winter. Between the resident pod of bottlenose dolphins that swam through the lineup most mornings and the perfectly triangulated bomber squadrons of California brown pelicans gliding just over the glassy surface, I could sometimes grab a few precious moments of the mental calm, at least until the question came rushing back. Did she really love this guy? Was there truly no chance? How did I ever manage to screw it all up? I was trying to drown demons, but no matter how long I stayed in the water, they always seemed to be waiting for me back on the beach. My personal life was an unquestionable mess. Professionally, on the other hand, my career was on an absolute tear. I was a young deputy district attorney in the Orange County DA's office in the midst of a year-long winning streak, and I had just been promoted to the homicide unit, the youngest addition to an elite team of trial lawyers. I was spending my first week on assignment in a place that would become my professional home for the next 17 years. But on that morning, as I made my way back over the chilly sand to my car, all I could think about was her. It was a classic winter day in Southern California with the blue skies and a Santa Ana breeze blowing through the trees. I was standing there in the parking lot of a Manhattan Beach library, peeling off my wetsuit, starting my quick change into another more tailored kind of suit that I wore on most weekdays. I rinsed myself off while standing in the 5-gallon plastic storage container that often functioned as my shower on the best surf mornings. I poured warm water from a red gasoline jug over my head, washed the salt off, towel dry my feet, a little deodorant, and I was usually good to go. That morning would be different. My phone had blown up with messages while I was still in the water. It rang once again as I held it. Someone had been murdered in Newport Beach, and I was about to walk through my first homicide scene. I threw my still dripping wetsuit into the back of my old Nissan Pathfinder, balanced my surfboard on the reclined passenger seat, and headed directly to Orange County, about an hour south of Los Angeles on the 405 freeway. Newport Beach is one of the wealthiest and prettiest cities in California, if not the world, like a Beverly Hills by the sea. It has all the palm trees and couture, with the added bonus of bikinis. The harbor is ringed with opulent waterfront homes equipped with private docks hosting multi-million-dollar yachts. It is a place where murders are rare, and the residents certainly want to keep it that way. Morning traffic gave me time to get caught back up in my swirling head. Would my lack of sleep be obvious? Would my brand new colleagues, the detectives I hoped to be working with for years to come, realize I'd been surfing when they tried to call me? Given that I still looked like I was 12 years old, would they even believe who I was? And of course, the question I couldn't escape. Would my ex really going to marry that guy? But sunscreen, insomnia, and an aching heart were far from my biggest fears as I navigated traffic that Sunday morning. We've all seen the moment on TV or in the movies when the new guy shows up and sees a dead body for the first time. The reaction is so common among rookies that a crime scene at least is portrayed in pop culture that it has its own entry on the TV Tropes website. I was so green in the unit that I hadn't even thought to ask anyone if it was really a thing. Was I about to make a fool of myself? Would I contaminate the scene, lose the respect of my detectives, and be the subject to endless hazing for years? Murphy, I told myself, in the name of all things holy, please do not puke. After talking my way past the perimeter officer assigned to the yellow tape, I met the detective at the door and was escorted into the well-appointed Newport Beach townhouse, trying not to embarrass myself with the utter lack of experience. Detective Sergeant Dave Byington walked me into the middle of the beehive of activity. Police officers, forensic scientists, photographers, and CSI technicians of every stripe, and the air was electric. It was like some huge emotional charge had gone off and the reverberations were still echoing around the room. You could just feel that something horrible had just happened. There were scented candles burning in the entryway and on the bar-style counter that separated the wood flooring of the kitchen from the white barber carpet of the living room. I tried to take it all in as Byington walked me to the kitchen. Hold on a second. I'll put a little ambiance music. Murderer going free. And that scene in particular was full of memorable details. The victim had been... It wasn't the victim's home, but our suspects. The dead guy had apparently been stepping out on his wife with the pretty homicide unit, or really on the life of a prosecutor in general. The Orange County District Attorney's Office, where I worked, oversees a population of approximately 3 million people. The fifth largest district attorney's office. Collaboration. Try not to miss Taco Tuesdays. Your cases will ruin your sex life for at least 6 months. Don't be late for fighting me to the top. At one point or another, every young deputy DA aspires to be promoted to homicide. From the outside, you see the stars of the... Sometimes, once again, it can be the smallest detail. In all circumstances, even after a case is filed, or incredibly difficult, because there was no DNA and it boiled down to the little girl's word against his. The prior crime, given academics, often fall by the wayside long before they get anywhere near the truly heavy cases. The people I was and remain profoundly humbled and honored to have been a part of that group. Because our average tenure was measured in decades,
run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its ashamed to be alive. Break the chains and our freedom's ours to take. Look behind your back. Chase a light when the world is getting darker. I have a dream where love's the only side. So take my hand, join the army of the shadows.